also just information about register of deeds. A grantor, when you see grantor on a deed, that means the person who's selling the property. Grantee means the person that's buying the property. Legal description goes in here. We always have to have a legal description on any property that comes into our office. We file probably close to 200 types of documents in our office. I mean, we file liens, we file state tax liens, we file medical liens, we file so many types of mortgages, release of mortgages, assignment of mortgages. We can go on and on and on. There's a lot of documents that come through our office. But also, if you do ever do a transfer on deed, make sure you go to a notary that knows what they're doing. We have a lot of notaries when in the acknowledgement, they are to acknowledge who comes before them. Most of the time we get people, the notary puts that they came before them, and they don't, and then we have to send them away and have it corrected. So I always give them a little pamphlet on how to do a notary, to give it back to them and say, you need to read the document and how to do a notary. I think the state, just as long as they pay their fee, the Secretary of State, I don't think they read the book. Personally, I think they should take something online to know what they're doing and how to do it. And as the Register of Deeds, we try to tell the Secretary of State that, but it doesn't always work. So, a couple other things I brought, if you want information regarding, and this is not in my department, but a lot of people ask me about it, is the land bank, is property that is in the land bank. We're going to have another tax sale on 12/12 of 2019. That will happen, and what other information I bring? Oh, and if you are, we have a lot of people coming in, looking through our documents, and our records are public records. You can come in, we have 4 public computers, you can sit back there. Matter of fact, Chester and his wife and who else? There was, oh yeah, a bunch of them came in and searched their whole area, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah, it was like, yeah, that's been a couple of years ago, hasn't it? Well, Will was still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. Anyway, again, you're welcome to come in. I also brought some information on tax foreclosures. That means unpaid real estate. Information on what it takes to go and buy a house in the tax sale. So in case you want that information. Information on transfer on debt deed. And now I kind of just did a quick overview. Is there any questions you would like to ask me about my office? Yes.
I have a person that was willed a home. They have deceased, but on the back of the deed, there's 2 other persons' names. What do they do?
Okay, in a will, will does not transfer.
No, not will.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, a deed. I'm sorry. You said will. I thought. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So there's 2. There's 3 owners on there. Okay, and one is deceased.
But she willed it to this person before she died.
Will doesn't transfer property. If there's 3 people on that deed, and if it is in joint tenancy,
It is.
okay, they would just have to file her death, whoever passed away, the death certificate.
Okay.
And then the county clerk will put it in the last 2 people's name, okay? It won't change the makeup of the deed,
Right.
but it will change it, according to the county clerk, that would be the only 2 owners.
Okay.
But the original death certificate would have to be filed with us, and that's $38 to file that. We would hand that right back to you after we scan it in.
Okay.
Okay? But make sure that it's in joint tenancy with the right of survivorship.
Okay.
Okay? And you can call our office and ask anyone. Yes?
Why is the Register of Deeds an elected position?
Well, I can't answer that question, but there's 105 counties and they all have registered deeds, and we're, by state statutes run our office. That's a very good question, but that's the way the unified government, when they consolidated, they did not put in the Register of Deeds to be consolidated. And I don't know that answer back then.
I have a question. In cases of fraud and property theft, has the Office of the Register of Deeds I see you have the pamphlet one now, but have they implemented other programs that will assist? Because when you hear the commercials that talk about it, so they say, they take your property, there's nothing you can do about it, you know, things of that nature. Is that necessarily true? And secondly, for Wyandotte County, as compared to maybe probably not know, the rest of the nation, where does Wyandotte County fit in with property fraud and title theft and all of that?
Well, one thing I always encourage people, I know people don't want to pay title people to do the search on their property when they go to buy a property. We really encourage people to do a title search because there is fraud, but I'm seeing more fraud with people being taken advantage of. For instance, they haven't done their homework as far as to see who is the ownership. They're deeding like you would deed it out to me, and I said, okay, good, fine. I hand you 30, I had a woman, $45,000. She came into my office looking for a deed to her property. And I said, so I asked her, what's your address? What's the address? And I says, this is the owner. And she goes, yeah, I paid them $45,000 in cash. And I says, did he or she give you the deed to the property? And she said, well, no, that's why I'm here. And I said, and you get nauseated now, and you feel bad, but they haven't done their homework. They didn't go to a title person, and I know it's expensive, but you still, again, could come into my office and do, you know, a search for yourself. I can't search. I mean, I can search, but I cannot do that for you because there could be liens upstairs in the courts, and there can be liens in my office. You have to know what you're looking for. That's why we encourage everyone to do a title. But getting back to your question, as far as my office, I do not scrutinize, or I can't. People, I had it last week, matter of fact, the last two weeks ago, same week, fraud, signatures. But I do not do I don't see the signature. In other words, that notary lied who came before them, and they didn't do their homework because that signature was forged. And I had a lady fly in from Minnesota about this, and we gave her all the documents she needed to go to the district attorney and pursue it that way. There's nothing I can do, because I don't look at signatures, and I can't do that. None of us can do that in
Can
our
they be
office.
prosecuted for committing fraud?
Absolutely, yeah.
Good.
But the person that, I had to send them to the district attorney's office when they took their money, and I says, do you have anything like a ledger of something showing you paid them, you know, all that time, you know? And she says, well, I know, and I said, and that is lack of understanding how the process works. I see that mainly a lot in the Hispanic community because they're taken advantage of a lot. And I have some Hispanic women in my office, and they tell them, sorry, you're going to have to get an attorney and fight it. Some of them also, they can't find them to deed it over to them. So the other alternative is to do also a, I just lost my train of thought on that, a quiet title. You can, but that, again, that's back to court. That's money again. And
It's
here,
not 45,000.
No,
I know. But I mean, that happens a lot, and, did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
One last question was,
Yes.
as compared if you have that information, nationwide, where does Wyandotte County sit on fraud? You know, just.
I say it's a very small percentage. I'm just speaking from the state of Kansas, okay? That's about all I can answer. Just talking to my other register of deeds. Some other
I got a
questions?
question.
Oh.
Do you have any more of these for when Jerry hands out his pawpaws? He's transferring debt.
That's right.
just, I don't wanna bombard you with a lot of information. But again, I'm leaving my card, I'm leaving all this, I leave it at all these neighborhood things, just to understand it, if you have questions. My card's here, you can call me. Again, you're always welcome to come up and look at anything in our office. I have a lot of genealogy people come in, that's kind of fun, that's kind of my little thing. When they come in, I love to go back and help them. And you guys know that, I love going back there and helping you guys come in and look for their
I had
homes.
fun in there today.
We did, it's,
That's in there too, it is a fun experience.
any other questions? I'm sorry I couldn't answer that one,
That's okay.
but I don't know.
I wonder, you
It's
know, who
always
would
been.
know?
I'm sorry.
You know who would know, like how to trace that down, why it's elected a position, you know, that's putting it to the people to elect the register of deeds, what's the significance of that? That's really what I wonder, I don't know if state statute would say that, you know.
Well, it's a state statute that it is an elected position.
Right, but what's the significance of
Oh,
having
I,
a register
I
of deeds
didn't
being
answer that
elected?
question, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I could
that's-
see
that's
how
what's the
that position could be important politically
Mhm.
as to, let's say an organization that wants a whole lot of property,
Mhm.
and they could maybe bribe the registry to work things out. I'm not saying it's what you do.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no, no,
saying,
no.
I can see why they might want someone to be elected because of all the responsibility that's entailed in that position.
Well,
As opposed to just hiring somebody, because you can put somebody in there, you know, that's strictly for you and will help you do what you want to do.
Well, the register of deeds doesn't actually have control of the property, it's more just moving the ownership of property over there, right?
well, remember, it starts in the Register of Deeds office, they can't even build a tax base without the Register of Deeds office, because it deals strictly in real estate. So we file the documents, and it goes from, all our documents go from our office to the county clerks to the county appraisers, which were all intertwined. So, the Register of Deeds is the starting point of our tax base.
Okay, we have any more questions?
Really good. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Do we have any military in your group? I always love these
I
little,
used to.
well, do you have your DD 214 filed with us?
No? Do we have to file your 14?
You used to, I don't know, I mean, you might have. How long ago were you out?
81.
We haven't had a whole lot of them filed, but, well, I have,
Let me have that. I'll bring it down there to make sure I'm on point.
but a lot of people, this is a joint tendency one. Did you have any questions? I know you came in a little late. No. I'm just gonna, you guys can,
Thank you.
but you can also go online.
Okay.
And what online you can do is you can type it in, and I would prefer you to do that. Type it in to make it so it's legible.
All that information?
And did anybody want any information on the land bank or the delinquent tax sale?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just leave these here with you guys.
I didn't even want for
Muncie Boulevard?
Thank you.
Oh, this is, yeah.
Wow.
Do you know some of my documents in my office, which you're welcome to come and see, that goes back to where you found your street names. There was a Chief Armstrong and a Chief Splitlog, and they just all sorts of, it's very
I
interesting.
believe it.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
This is stuff about the land bank, I don't know if anybody's interested in that.
Yes, please.
And the tax foreclosure for the delinquent taxes.
I just didn't want to snatch it.
You want, it's
Land bank.
honestly
You don't
this,
want the
you guys
register of
can
deeds
have it
debt?
all, whatever.
Register of deeds debt?
And here is my card. And if you have questions, just come answer. And if you would like me to try and find that answer out, I will.
That'd be cool. Thank you, Nancy.
No problem. Could you write or put your email? Yeah. On the back of that for me?
I'm always highly of you.
I'm sorry?
I'm out one time I came over there. It was neat, cause it was kind of like a library experience, like back in the days when you go to the microfiche and everything, that's kinda how it felt as well, so.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, we still have to go to the film. I do film all the documents, we have them, and we have to archive them. So my film is also kept with my software, but I also keep it, stored here in county off-site, because if anything would ever happen,
Yeah.
I can get to it, so.
So do you have to have the actual copy of the 214 or the copies?
Yeah, you have to have the original.
Yeah, and you have the original, but you need 214.
Yeah. And I mean, we have, it's very interesting, oh, thank you, I will find that out.
Thank you
Cause I
so
don't
much.
It's a
know
very
where
good
they were.
question.
It's probably in
And I
St.
told
Louis.
them today.
I know where the answer to was.
Long time ago, I was a county
Yeah,
commissioner.
the
Yes.
VA hospital.
Yes.
The office.
Well, Burris Robinson and I were
Is it
county
next to the
commissioners
hospital?
together.
No, it's right there, across from the pancake place. Linwood and Woodland. I think it's Linwood and Woodland.
Okay,
It's VA office.
I'll do that.
That's where you have to get the original from.
Well, they're the ones that sent me all the copies from St. Louis.
Yeah, that's where it
Yeah.
comes from, but they won't accept copies.
Wow,
It has to be an original.
okay.
Yeah, and if you ever, since you are a veteran, because I know a lot of them come in, I certify it if it was filed. Say for instance, you were a veteran and you filed your DD 214 with me, like my dad, and he needed to get medicine or go to the hospital, the VA hospital, they would have to have documentation. I have a copy of it, but I certify it as it's an original. Once I certify it, then you're good.
I'm already part of the health system anyway,